Hey everybody, it's Mike. Somebody asked me a question on the channel. Is codependency the same as trauma bonding or abuse amnesia, or does codependency just open you up to those things? So, since, as I say, and I'll say it now, I am not a mental health professional, I am not certified, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist. Do not take anything I say as a substitute for qualified advice or treatment from a mental health professional. If you are codependent, if you are borderline, or if you have any problem, please seek out the qualified mental health professional to help you with that. Do not take anything I say as a substitute. You are responsible for any choices that you make as a result of watching these videos there. Now, because I'm not, I don't honestly know what trauma bonding is or abuse amnesia, or at least I didn't before this question. So I was going to type in and say, I don't know what those words are. And I thought, well, let's take a look at it. And so I did. I took a look at abuse amnesia, and that is pretty much what it sounds like. Somebody is in an abusive relationship and is abused, and they don't have a conscious memory of the abuse. I'm assuming because they have suppressed the memory so that they can continue to keep the relationship going. So that sounds pretty clear. Is codependency abuse amnesia? The next question is codependency the same as trauma bonding? So I haven't answered the first question. I'll answer the first and the second one together after we both find out what trauma bonding is, according to this psychologist, who says trauma bonding is loyalty to a person who is destructive, and then lists some characteristics of trauma bonding. There is a constant pattern of non-performance, yet you continue to believe promises to the contrary by the abuser. Next one. Other people seem disturbed by something that has happened to you or was said to you, and you are not disturbed. So in other words, you tell somebody, yeah, I was talking with my borderline, and she turned around and out of nowhere called me an asshole and run out of the room and threw a ashtray at me. She does that all the time. And then somebody will say, what the hell, man? That's a really abusive thing to do. What's going on? Why doesn't that bother you? Oh, she does that all the time. Next one. You feel stuck because the other person keeps doing destructive things, but you believe there is nothing you can do about it. That one is so, every time I read that, it just, something about that, it bothers me. I'll talk about that in a second. Next one. You try to change the person into becoming less destructive by trying to get them to stop an addiction or becoming a non-abuser. Next one, you keep having repetitive damaging fights with this person that nobody wins. Next one, you seem unable to detach from someone even though you can't trust them or really don't even like them. Next one, when you try to leave this person, you find yourself missing them to the point of longing that is so awful that you believe it is going to destroy you. Usually trauma bonds occur in relationships involving inconsistent reinforcement, such as those with addicts or alcoholics or in domestic violence situations. Dysfunctional marriages also cause trauma bonds because there's always a time when things seem to be normal. Other types of relationships involving trauma bonds, cult-like religious organizations, kidnapping, hostage situations, those involving child abuse, and blah, blah, blah. So, I think what's important here is the first thing, which is trauma bonding is loyalty to a person who is destructive. Now let me get back to the one that bugs me. Which one is it? You feel stuck because the other person keeps doing destructive things, but you believe there is nothing you can do about it. Now, to me, that sounds like somebody coming to the realization, coming to the acceptance that they're trying to fix somebody that can't be fixed. At which point you go, I'm never going to get them to love me, so I'm going to leave now. So feeling stuck because you know there's nothing you can do about it. I guess that's a trait I don't have, because the reason why I'm so harsh with people whom I consider to be codependent, which, by the way, my opinion, like it or not, is that somebody who's in or has been in a relationship with a borderline for more than like 24 hours romantically, you are by definition a codependent. Because a codependent is somebody who is with somebody who is destructive and abusive, has a mental illness, etc., etc. That's the definition. It's not a shame thing. And get over the word dependent. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means that, you have an issue. There's something broken in you that's drawing you to somebody who's destructive. You're not consciously aware of that. When you can become consciously aware of, oh my God, this person is never going to love me and all they do is hurt me. What am I doing here? Then you leave. So I'm using shock value when I come at you really hard and say, what the hell are you doing with this person? The person says here in this, one thing often asked by those in the helping profession when confronted with a person in an unhealthy relationship is, quote, why do you stay? This question has implications of weakness and failure on the part of the victim and usually causes shame. Rather than asking this question of a victim of abuse, it is best for the counselor to understand the concept of trauma bonding and explain it to the individual who seems stuck in a bad relationship. Now, that is this person's strategy. It's not my strategy. I'm not saying mine is better or this one's better. I believe that there are people who don't respond well to my type of help. So when somebody says to me, I'm in with a person like this and she cheated on me and she did that to me and then she did this and she threw a plate at me, then my question is always, I know the answer. So it's not that I don't know the answer. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm asking you the question so you'll honestly ask it, because it would help me if somebody asked me that. You say, they did this, they did this, they did this, they did this. And I go, well, then why did you stay? Why are you still with them? If they keep doing that, why do you keep going back? That's an honest question. Answer it. If you honestly try to answer it, you won't have a reasonable explanation. Period. You won't. You'll come up with reasons. I still love them. I can get them to change. They can't help it. It's not that bad. There's nothing I can do about it. That's why I have a hard one with that one. So I said, there's nothing I can do about it. I'd say, well, then why stay? You just answered your own question. There's nothing you can do to fix it. So get the hell out. Why are you, it's not, I'm not trying to call you weak. I'm wanting you to actually ask the question. It's my way of shocking you. Like Satori. I would never do this, what I'm about to explain, but it was Vincent Bugliosi. If you're not familiar with him, I think he was a psychologist, and he had a bunch of self-help books, and he was talking about how he was visiting a Zen monk or a Zen master, and they were walking through the gardens, and he admits that he really wanted this monk's approval, and so he was trying to make himself look spiritual, and he was going on and on by saying this, that, and the other thing. And at some point the Zen monk suddenly turned, slapped him in the face so hard that it split his lip, and said, "Stop walking around in my mind with your dirty feet." And now that is a tradition within Zen Buddhism where they try to give people satori. They try and shock you into looking at how crazy your world is. I would never do that. I don't recommend that. That is abuse. Don't do that to somebody. It is a symbol. So when I'm saying to you, when you say I'm with them, no, I'm not codependent. I'm with them because they do this and they do that, and I'm trying to help them, and then they did this, and then I kept going, and then they threw me in jail falsely, and then they did this, and then they did that, and I'm trying to, and then I go, why? Why are you staying with somebody who does that? Wake up. It's not that I'm trying to make you look stupid or make you feel stupid. I'm trying to get you to actually ask the question. So, to answer your question, now that I know what these are, and again, I'm not speaking on the part of a healthcare professional, just as a self-confessed codependent, is that Trauma bonding and abuse amnesia would qualify as codependent, but I would say trauma bonding is a nicer way for codependency. Codependency is just another word for trauma bonding. You're with somebody even though they, they're destructive. You're committed and loyal to somebody even though they're destructive to you. That is just another word for codependence. Abuse amnesia, everybody who has abuse amnesia is codependent, but not everybody who is a codependent has abuse amnesia. Okay, so that's my answer to that question. Okay, we'll stop it right there because I tend to go on, and I have other things I want to say, so I'll put those in other videos. That's it for me. Again, my three-pronged approach. If you want what I have, you got to do what I do. I did three things. As soon as I closed the door on my BPDX, who had first closed it on me, but they never really close and lock the door. They close it and then they open it and invite you back in. She closed the door. I closed and locked it and put a padlock and got the hell out. I blocked her on every possible way so that she couldn't get a hold of me. Have no idea if she's tried or even thought about me. Don't care. I made that decision because I was, I had enough experience to know, okay, now she's given you the out. I was no longer responsible. Boom, I'm out. That's it. We're gone. Then I did these three things. Started working with my therapist. I've been working with him the whole time, but now help me out. Therapist man. Number two, I went to Codependence Anonymous and used what I knew about the 12 steps, and I listened to them and applied it to that program, and I did the 12 steps on my borderline X, and then three, continued to do my spiritual practice. So that's my three-pronged approach, and I recommend you do that. One of those can do it. In my experience, people can spend years and years and years in therapy and still never recover. In my experience, people can spend years and years and years in the 12 steps and still not get, recovery over a lot of things. And people can spend years and years and years just doing spiritual work and not become conscious. So you need all three, in my opinion. Maybe someday I'll be able to explain that. You need therapy, you need 12 steps, and you need a spiritual discipline, whether that's going to church or doing meditation or walking through the woods and chanting, whatever the hell your spiritual discipline is, do it every day. Those three things, work at them daily, and you can achieve a state of recovery that will keep you safe. And it may take you longer than me. I've been doing this kind of work my whole entire adult life. So I had a lot, and trust me, I didn't think it was going to. I thought I was never going to recover from what happened. I was telling people I was broken, and I meant it. And I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to feel happy again, get my joy again, feel like myself. And it took a little while, but a couple months later, I started feeling like myself again. And here it is, over about 6 months or more later, and I feel great. The only reason I think about my borderline X is because I'm involved in this channel, and I'm only involved in this channel because I can see from people's responses that I am filling a niche that other people aren't. So I'm going to keep doing it. As long as people are benefiting from it, I'm going to keep putting videos up on this channel. All right? That's it. That's it for this video. Talk to you guys later. We'll have something else to talk about. I'm sure I'll piss off more people, and I will do it with glee. All right, talk to you guys later.